What are we playing, Jennifer?
Arctic Scavengers.
Okay. How do you play Arctic Scavengers, Jennifer?
Not the way you said. Everybody is dealt an identical hand of 10 cards.
Yes. How many
We
cards
have
are there?
10 cards.
How many of each?
I don't know. We got some refugees. Hold on.
Four
we
refugees.
get 4 refugees, 3 scavengers, 1 brawler, 1 shovel, and 1 spear.
Okay.
Yes. So that is how many cards we have. But you shuffle those, and you take 5.
You place them face down next to you.
Yeah, I did that already. I'm way ahead of you.
That'll be your draw deck.
This is my draw deck, but I already drew my 5 because I'm just so much faster.
And the first phase of the game is to draw.
Draw.
And how many do you draw? 5.
Oh yeah. From your draw pile.
Right. Now during the draw phase, the initiator, which has this card, who will be essentially the first player, will also have the opportunity of taking a look at the top card on the contested resource pile. But in a 2-player game, we do not do that. Okay, so what happens next?
On your turn, you can use your cards to either draw, which would be take cards from here.
Yes, the card
from your draw pile.
Card would have to have this symbol.
Correct.
Okay.
Or you can dig, which is the shovel symbol.
Right.
And then, depending on how many you have under, the shovel symbol, is how many cards you can take from the junk pile. And you can only keep 1.
Right.
So no matter how many you draw, you can only keep 1. The rest would go on the bottom of the pile.
Right.
Or you can hunt, which would be the food icon on your cards. And then you use those to hire mercenaries, which you can use medication, pills, or food, either alone or in combination to get the mercenaries.
Right, depending on the symbol on the top right of the card.
Right. And then after everybody takes their main actions.
Oh no, there's one more. You could discard.
Oh yes, you can discard. I very rarely do that unless I get this stupid junk.
Right. Now, the discard, you can take as many cards in your hand as you want to and discard them into the junkyard pile.
But you do not replace them.
You do not replace them with your draw pile and just simply get rid of them. And then once you have placed them on top of this junkyard pile, you would shuffle that pile and then put it back on top of the board. Okay, and then there's one more step with the skirmish. Then,
before the skirmish?
Yeah, you announce how many cards you're going to use in the skirmish, and you place them face down in front of you.
Correct.
And then play would pass on to the next person to the left.
Skirmishes have to do with the little swordy symbol at the bottom.
Right.
That's a technical term, by the way. Swordy symbol.
Thing, is that technical term?
Swordy symbol.
So during the skirmish, what we're doing basically is fighting over these contested resources, which are worth a lot of people. And,
you need to get a lot of people in your tribe.
Right. The player with the most people in their tribe at the end of the game will win the game. So basically, contested resources is worth mostly a lot of people, but there's also some tools in there that are very potent, and some other tribe members in there that'll give you special abilities.
Good stuff.
Now, during the skirmish phase, whoever has the most of these cross swords or knights or whatever they are,
swordy things, technical term. Barry.
Technical term. Whoever has the most of them, the highest value, will win the skirmish. If there's a tie, then whoever has the most people in the skirmish will win. And then if there's still a tie, it's called a deadlock, where you would take the top contested resource, place it on the junkyard pile, and then shuffle the pile. However, in a 2-player game,
Jennifer always wins.
The skirmish is only won if one player has a fight value of 2 more than the other player. Okay, we ignore the amount of people in a skirmish, and if there is a tie, then nobody wins, and the contested resource automatically goes to the junkyard pile and it's shuffled.
Or you could play with house rules where Jumper wins.
No.
Because a happy wife makes for Barry to get to play more board games.
Right. Now, there is also, on setup, 2 cards of every type from the junkyard are removed in a 2-player game and put back in the box. They won't be used. Okay, I'll just put them here. So who's going first?
They're going to fall off the table there, so.
Because you yank on the table.
No, just because you had them on the edge of a rounded table.
Who's going first, Jennifer?
I am.
So take the
you can
initiator
also
card.
only take one action. You can do as many main actions as you want, but you can only do each one once.
Right.
Yeah.
And the initiator card, like I said, will pass from player to player, but that won't happen until the 4th round, after the first skirmish takes effect. Okay, so what are you doing, Jennifer?
I'm going to dig 3 times. I have 3 shovels, my 2 scavengers, and my brawler. We're not going to skirmish this round.
No.
So my 2 refugees, they're really useless. They're not going to do anything. So
Now,
I will take 3 cards.
Jen is digging 3 times because she could add the effect of 3 cards together, whether they be tribe members, which is what any card with this symbol on them is, or a combination of tribe members and a tool. A tool can only be used with 1 tribe member, and you can combine them to do as many actions as you wish to, as long as the tribe member allows you to do that action. Like the brawler here cannot draw or hunt, but he can dig and fight.
And a refugee, if you have a shovel, can dig.
Well,
but
not on their own. They need a tool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They could dig or hunt, but they know how to. They just can't until you get a tool.
They're totally useless. No, they're not useless. All right, I'm going to take something, and I'm going to take these other 2 items and put them on the bottom.
Okay.
Did you want me to show?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so it's my time.
Yes.
Just try and get what you took in frame so I can. Okay. So I can put a picture out for later. Alright, so now normally I'd like to put my draw pile on my right, my left rather, my discard pile on my right, and play cards or put cards in the skirmish in the middle. You can do it however you want, your choice, I don't care. I won't be there, so why would I care?
Why wouldn't you be there? Maybe the people would like to play with you.
Doubt it.
Because you're just miserable.
I'm miserable, no problem.
If you have ice cream, who will come to your house and play games with you?
Okay, I am going to play the brawler for a draw or a dig action. Okay.
Put your discard pile, Barry.
You put that in the discard pile, and then you discard the card you used to perform the action. I am then going to use the Scavenger here, and I am going to use his draw action. It did not help me, not the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, it doesn't usually help you in the first round, so I don't even know why you bothered.
I was trying to do something else.
Yeah, you failed.
Get off my deck.
No.
Okay, and then I am going to discard 2 cards. Jen, could you give them a shuffle for me?
Sure, because you're not good at shuffling.
And then I'll be done. That'll be the end of mine. Now, being that I can't draw up the 5 on the next round, I had to shuffle these. I would take as many cards in my draw pile as I have left, and then shuffle my discard pile and create a new draw pile with them. You're up.
Great. I'm going to take 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, that is amazing.
Amazing.
Not really.
Good.
Calm down. Slow your roll, pal.
Don't need your attitude.
It's free.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to use my scavenger and my spear, and I'm going to get a brawler.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my refugee. I'm going to use my refugee, and I'm going to dig. I can take 2 cards because he has a shovel.
Right.
And I'm going to take one, put one on the bottom, and then I'm going to commit one to the skirmish.
There's nothing on next round.
Oh,
This
then
is only the
good, because I
second
only had a refugee and he wasn't going to get me anything.
Okay, I am going to use a scavenger to draw one card. Place him in my hand. And then I am going to use the brawler and the shovel. Now again, remember, a tool can only be paired with one tribe member. So I will take 3 cards. And choose to keep one. Put that in my discard pile. And then normally would put them on the bottom of that pile, but I'm going to discard a card, so it's going to have to get shuffled. And I'll do that in a second. And then I'm going to play another scavenger here with a spear to hunt twice, giving me 2 food, and that will allow me to take a brawler and put him in my discard pile. And then I take everything that I use to perform my actions, throw that in my discard pile. Now, that is the end of my turn. That's the end of the round. We're going into the 3rd round, so now we would start the rounds with the skirmish. Okay, like I said, there's 14 of these contested resources, which are more tribe members and powerful tools and stuff like that. But this pile also acts as a timer. There's 16 rounds in the game. There's 14 contested resources, and then the 2 preparatory rounds, which equals 16. At the end of them 16 rounds, whoever has the most people in their tribe, which is that number down on the bottom of the left card again, will win the game. Now, normally during the draw phase, you would look at the initiator would look at the top contested resource card, but that doesn't happen in a 2-player game. And like I said, now we will commit people to the skirmish. This includes people who cannot fight. They will not take part in a fight, but if there is a tie, then you could use the amount of people that card represents to break the tie.
I thought you said you don't do that in a 2-player game.
Not in a 2-player game. I'm talking about a normal game.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
In a 2-player game, you ignore the amount of people in a skirmish. You just worry about the fight values, and a player must beat the other player by a value of 2 in order to win the fight in a 2-player skirmish. Okay? If not, it's a tie, then the resource goes on top of the junk pile, you shuffle it up, and nobody gets that unless they dig for it. Your turn.
Great. I'm going to use pills, and I'm going to get a hunter.
You're going to get a hunter?
Yes. And then I'm going to use my refugee and shovel, and I'm going to dig.
Okay. Twice?
Yeah, there.
Okay.
I'm only going to keep 1 card.
Okay.
Put that other card there. And then I'm going to commit 2
to the skirmish?
To the skirmish.
Okay, and again, you place them face down in front of you.
Touch my cards.
Touch each other. Now you can commit tribe members with tools, or just tribe members?
Tribe member can only hold 1 tool.
Right. But I'm saying you could use tools in a skirmish as long as they have that fight symbol on it. That cross sword.
I think you should be able to hold 2 because you have 2 hands.
No. But
you can like,
group leaders will modify that. They'll modify anything. They can't stand alone. And they don't act. They act similar to a tool where you could. No, they can't. I looked it up. They act similar to a tool where you can add it to a tribe member, but you could also add more than 1 to a tribe member, unlike a tool. And you can add them to a tribe member that has a tool.
Where did you look it up?
The Geek. There was a couple of little things about the rules. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, I am going to. Got 2 cards committed to the thingamabobber at the end of the thingamabobber.
Skirmish.
The skirmish.
At the end of the round.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
could you hold your cards down a little bit more? I can't see them all.
Oh, okay. No problem. Okay, I'm going to.
Dig.
No, I'm going to buy a mercenary with my scavenger and my med kit.
Okay.
And
You could get a saboteur.
I could get a saboteur, or I could get a hunter, which kind of wasted it. You know, I could use the med kit on its own. It does not need a tribe member like every other card does. It can stand alone. It's just currency.
Yeah, I was going to say you're using it as currency.
But I'm going to buy the saboteur. Now I can't have change. Saboteur only costs 1 medicine and 1 food. The med kit is worth 2 food or 2 medicine, so you just bite the bullet on that. You don't get change. Okay. And then I am going to discard a card and commit 2 cards to the Skirmish. And Jennifer, it's time for the Skirmish. Who shall win the Skirmish? So now we had the Skirmish. If you had any actions to perform during the Skirmish, like the Saboteur or the Sniper, that would happen after people flip their cards. Okay, and then after the actions are performed, you would calculate the value of the attack for each player and who wins and loses it. And then whoever the winner is gets the contested resource. So let's flip them over. I have a value of 4. I have no actions.
I have a value of 4.
No actions. It's a tie.
I win.
So we take the contested resource. We put it on here. Shuffle them up. Please. And now we discard our people and tools and all that in our discard pile and start a new round. Now, the initiator card goes to the player on the left, which is me. And we start a new round from the draw phase. Now, like I said, in a normal game, since it was a tie, with a game with more than 2 players, then you'll look at how many people are in the skirmish, and the winner of that would win. I'm going to use a scavenger. With the shovel to dig. Okay, and then...
Why'd you take the whole thing?
What?
Did you take the whole deck?
I placed the other 2 on the bottom.
More than pants, actually.
What else is new? Okay, and then I'm going to use my other scavenger to draw a card, but I don't have any, so I got to shuffle. Okay, then I'm going to draw a card. What did I do? I dug, drew, and now I'm going to use my med kit here and buy a hunter. And then I'm going to commit 2 cards to the skirmish. And you're up. What you going to do?
I'm going to take a saboteur.
Saboteur?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm going to commit 3 cards to the skirmish.
Oh, this isn't on the for me. Okay, so now we go on to the skirmish phase itself, and we flip our cards over. Again, if we had any cards that perform an action, like the Saboteur or the Sniper team, we do that.
I only had 2.
Jen has 2. I have
4.
4. So, being that in a 2-player game you need +2 to win, I won. I would take the contested resource here, and you're supposed to keep that secret, but place it in your discard pile face up. I don't know exactly how you're supposed to do that. So I just hide under the cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we start moving around.
Not kidding, I didn't know.
Jen gets the initiator card, and we start a new round. Jennifer, you're up.
I'm shuffling.
You're shuffling?
Every day I'm shuffling.
You only got 3 cards?
Go.
So, Jen, do you think we would win in this universe, this world?
Oh, it's too cold.
Yeah, I don't like the cold. Although I'd rather have the cold than the heat.
No, heat's fine. It's humidity.
Well, yeah. Well, no, I don't like the heat either. You could always dress to get warm. I can't really. Yeah. People would appreciate it if I walked around nude.
I'm kind of used to it by now.
It happens. We've been married so a while.
Yeah.
Forever.
No, we haven't been married forever.
Feels like forever.
It hasn't even been 3 years yet.
Huh?
No. October will be 3 years.
I'm not saying often.
We've been together longer than that, though. Maybe that's why it feels like forever.
Maybe. What you doing?
I'm taking forever. Just don't want you to feel like it hasn't been forever.
Okay.
I'm going to draw a card.
You're gonna draw a card?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to dig.
Now, if I wanted to be mean, I could play as Saboteur if I had him in my hand, which will disable a tool. When that happens, the tool gets discarded, but the player can put the tribe member it used the tool with back in their hand and reappropriate it with something else. Look at that.
And then I'm going to hire.
Okay, how many commitment to the fight?
2.
2? Okay.
Yes.
Alright, I'm going to use my Scavenger here, and he is going to
take a sip out, you see?
Yeah, he's going to draw a card. But I don't have any, so I got to shuffle. I don't have enough to do what I want to do, Jen.
Oh, Kim texted me. Seriously, at like 11:11?
Okay, I'm going to spend $100 and buy a brawler. And I will use 4 for the skirmish. Are you ready for the skirmish?
Yeah, I'm ready for the skirmish.
What you got for the skirmish?
6,000.
6,000.
500. What do you have for the skirmish?
I got more than you.
I have 3.
I have 3 plus 4.
You're just really not wanting your wife to like this game at all.
Why?
Because.
And so I won the contested resource?
Of course. Always.
So, did you go first this time?
It's right. I have this card right here.
I'm making sure because I know you don't always flip it over. Okay, so
Stop flipping it over.
So our new phase, I get the new round, I get the initiator card. I go first, unlike Jennifer, who does not. Okay, folks, so I'm going to stop this part of the video here. I'll leave a link so that you can click on to follow the rest of the video. Get gaming, have fun. Thanks for watching, and I hope you come back to watch the rest of the video.